We have been witnessing over the last year a dangerous precedent being set in regard to historical monuments and other testaments to historical events and people. Whether it's the removal of Confederate monuments in the United States, such as Robert E. Lee, the removal of monuments here in Canada like Edward Cornwallis in Halifax or Johnny MacDonald in Victoria, British Columbia, or the vandalism which other monuments suffer at the hands of people who disapprove of what they stand for, we're seeing an attack on these icons. I will not, as some do, claim that the removal of them is in itself an effective attack on history, though it could certainly lead to that if we continue down this road. I instead raise the concern of what precedent this sets with handing power over history to the government. With every statue or symbol we demand to have removed, we hand the reins more and more over to the government. First, it's remove this statue, then it's ban this book, then it's remove mention of this event from textbooks, then it's criminalize this speech, and so on. There is an important quote from George Orwell's book 1984 which explains in a couple of sentences where we could be headed with this course of action.
Every record has been destroyed or falsified. Every book has been rewritten. Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street and building has been renamed. Every date has been altered. And that process is continuing, day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right.
With every piece representing history we tell the government needs to be removed, we give them more power and legitimacy to remove or rename what they wish. Though the governments of the superstates, represented in 1984, achieved power through a much different method, and it's far-fetched that we would ever reach such a point ourselves, we should still do everything in our power to keep ourselves as far away from that reality as is rationally possible. We must also think, does leaving these monuments untouched really do any harm? What if we were to put up a plaque or something similar which gives a rundown of the unbiased story of the individual or event, both the good and the bad? If neither of these solutions are any good and the only proper way to solve the problem is removal, why don't we destroy the old German Nazi concentration camps since they represent the oppression of Jews? It only takes a minute bit of thought to see that it is a logical fallacy to use the removal or renaming of these icons as a solution, and it is a fallacy which will cause far more harm than it will prevent. If none of this has helped you to see what is wrong with this rash course of action, just think about the tax dollars that went into the building of these monuments. Cheap or expensive, these monuments cost something, and that will be wasted to make the area look more bland and to give the government more legitimacy in its dealing with history. What happens when they go against what you would like untouched? Remember, the government doesn't have to pick your side. No matter which way you try to spin it, it is universally a bad idea. Thank you for listening.